Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you very much for joining us for our partnership presentation between Orange Leap and 2Dialog. My name is Kevin Hartland. I'm Vice President of Sales and Marketing for 2Dialog, and joining you from the Orange Leap facilities here in Dallas, Texas. Joining me, I have a group of folks that I'm sure you are hopefully familiar with, both Randy McCabe and Leo D'Angelo, who will be facilitating and helping us through the presentation.
This is Randy McCabe, and I'm the CEO of Orange Leap, and we're excited that Kevin and the 2Dialog folks are over here, and we're very excited about our partnership. I just wanted to say a couple words about that partnership at the beginning of this session to let you, our clients, know how excited and supportive we are of the relationship we have with 2Dialog. We've looked at a lot of products, and our clients have looked at a lot of products that do some of the things that 2Dialog's e-suite, online suite of tools does, and we really like the feature set that 2Dialog has. We like their pricing model, and we think that their pricing model fits with our pricing model. We really like how easy to use the 2Dialog tools are, and then probably the most important thing about the relationship that we have is the fact that we really work well together with the 2Dialog team. So we've got an integration that's supported by both Orange Leap and 2Dialog, and we have a great rapport and a great relationship with the 2Dialog team. Where we really keep up with each other. We keep up with each other's product roadmaps, and our development teams are really in sync. And that's a really important factor in any technology relationship. So again, I just want to endorse Kevin and the 2Dialog team and the relationship that we have, and just say we're excited about their product, and we're excited about bringing it to our clients.
Randy, thank you so much. We appreciate it. What we're planning on doing today is to show you not only some functionality within the system, within the 2Dialog system, and kind of what are the features and the benefits associated with that, but also address integration, address some efficiencies that we see when integrating both of these products, and hopefully show you some results on the outcome that will hopefully get you to think a little bit more about e-marketing and engaging donors and prospects and bringing them through the process. You should be seeing my screen right now, the next generation of donor management. A couple of slides. I'd like to give you a high-level sense of the relationship itself, the value that we bring together to the marketplace, and actually then go right into the product. And at that point, show you a little bit more about how an organization may look at email and look at fundraising from an online engagement perspective, maybe a little bit differently than you've looked at in the past, and how it creates those efficiencies in managing that donor or constituent record within your Orange Leap or MPX database. So let me give you a little bit of history and a little bit of background on 2Dialog. We are based here in Dallas, Texas. We are about 6 or 8 miles from the Orange Leap offices here in Dallas. The product was conceived out of a larger entity called Stratmark. Stratmark is a direct response agency really built around multi-channel and direct response fundraising. So if you're an organization that does direct mail as well as TV, radio, marketing events, those sorts of things, online is a key component to that, but it is a component. And so we really wanted to build a product that really took or embraced all channels of engagement. So this is not just for your online, but it then complements all of your other ways to engage and cultivate a donor or a prospect. So we were founded by nonprofit technology veterans via Stratmark. We are delivered as a service. So if you're familiar, obviously, with Orange Leap On Demand, in 2Dialog's case, we host it and we manage the product. We provide upgrades to the product over the course of time at no fee to our clients. It's really a subscription-based model. We're going to show you some tools around email, also around landing pages and microsites and forms, as well as a nice way to analyze that particular engagement or campaign that captures a tremendous amount of behavioral data that then goes back into the Orange Leap or MPX database. And then that data is actionable, meaning you take that and then you continue on with your engagement in terms of moving that potential donor through the donation process. Okay? These are the three kind of key pillars within 2Dialog that we do embrace. It's the engagement, conversion, and cultivation. You engage somebody through a number of different means. As I mentioned, email, print, television, social media. But once you engage them, it's what do you do with that person? So if I've read an email that was sent out, the next step is how do I convert them? And typically that's a donation. It could be to forward to a friend. It could be to learn more about a particular program or a mission trip. And that conversion we typically see is done online. So you engage people from the outside. The conversion is done online. And what we've instituted within the 2Dialog product is the ability to create a landing page or a microsite or a little mini website that then can take a potential donor, prospect, what have you, down a path to then do something for your organization. It could be to give or whatever the case might be. And then with that information, step 3 is cultivation. So once I've actually experienced that and realized that donation, how do I then work with that potential, that individual donor to then move them to the next level? And so you'll see in here the ability to segment and put those people into groups that then can drive your next engagement. I'm showing you one particular product in all 3 of these steps, and that is called Billboard. And that's the product we'll be showing you today that has a complete bilateral integration into both Orange Leap and Orange Leap On Demand and MPX. Billboard is an email tool. You can also use this tool to create microsites and landing pages and forms, and then track that data. Billboard can be what I've described to you as all in one. We do have clients that use us predominantly for email and maybe use outside web pages, and that's fine. We also have clients that might utilize 2Dialog for its landing pages and giving pages, and then drive people there through other means as well. So the product can be delivered as a whole or actually in parts. This shows you a little bit about how we do transfer data between both MPX and Orange Leap. We'll get into a little bit more detail on the specifics of this, and we do have some documentation more on this that we can provide. But essentially, segmentation and selects typically we see done within Orange Leap or MPX is then transferred via secure FTP over to the 2Dialog system, where groups are created to send out email and to then track all that information within Billboard, and then through another secure FTP transfer, we're bringing back information such as donor updates, new donors, registrations, transactional data back into your database. Essentially, what we look at is we're more of an engagement front-end tool that is completely integrated with complete functionality to the Orange Leap and MPX database. Real quickly, some unique benefits and advantages that we see. We talked about the integration, which we think is obviously key. The 2Dialog system, it's a very easy and simple way to create email campaigns as well as create little mini websites and mini landing pages and forms. We're a completely white-labeled product. We offer a tremendous amount of flexibility, not just for those individuals that may not be so technically savvy that really what they want to do is create a cut and paste, drag and drop, and highlight some pieces. But on the flip side, be able to, if you've got somebody within your organization that would be interested in coding in HTML or JavaScript, they have the ability to do that as well. So we try to cater to both sides of the aisle. We mentioned microsites. You'll see some of the robust tracking and metrics. And then again, we built the product really for direct response for multi-channel. So it's not just blasting somebody with an email, but it's using that form of engagement to drive people to take an action for your organization. And that's why we've incorporated some of the other pieces associated with that. Okay, if we're all set, the marketing piece is done. Now let's go into the product and show you a little bit what we're talking about here. Okay, again, we built the product really to, again, make it so it's not so inhibitive and intimidating. We wanted to make this as a kind of an ease of use, create campaigns very quickly, not having to go through an entire process. You'll see at the top you've got home, you've got your list, your message, your action. Those three pieces make up a package. You schedule the package, you measure their performance. A list, this is an email list. We're going to go into each one of these things individually. So a list, this is a list of email addresses that could be imported out of, could be actually imported from an Excel file to, more than likely, this is your segmentation out of your Orange Leaf database. Once I've created my list, I create my message. This is my email message. And you'll see some unique characteristics of how you do this. From there, I can create an action, and an action is a call to action. This is what I want that individual to do. This might be a donation form, a registration form, a petition. It could be a one-page informational page on a particular campaign or a particular appeal. These three items make up what we call a package. We schedule the package, and then we measure the performance. Okay? You're going to see that the product is not only intuitive but also repetitive. So we try to make it to a point where it's very simple and it's logical in the way you go through the process. So if I look at my list, here is a list. As I've logged in as a marketing person for a nonprofit called Helping Hands, I've logged in and I can see I've got a number of different lists that I've utilized in the past. Okay, and this would be my Orange Leaf list. This is a list that was created or segmented out of my Orange Leaf or MPX database that is moved over into the 2Dialog system, identifying it the way we have. So you'll see, what is this? It's an Orange Leaf list. It's a mailing list. When was it created? Are there any reference codes associated with this list? I'll get to groups here in a second. I can see any details on this list and essentially view who's in this list at any given time. So at any time I can see in my exclude group, I can see not only their ID within the 2Dialog system. If they have an external ID, in this case they will, that will be your Orange Leaf or MPX ID that we'll assign. The name of that individual and the email address. Okay, I can export that out if I'd like. I can print that, whatever the case might be. I can also see if I ever used this list before. And if so, I can drill down on where this has been linked, what package this has been linked to, and see the analytics of that individual or particular package. And in this case, a number of different webinars that I've done. But I can go in and see the detail of the performance on that and how successful or not successful it was. And then I've got a little activity log. I mentioned groups. In 2Dialogs, where groups make up a list, and you'll always have your include group and your exclude groups. Your include groups will be your groups, obviously, that you'll want in your list. And a group might be $50 donors that live in the Dallas area that attended the last event. That might be 3 groups that I have combined and put into my include group called the OL list. You will always have an exclude group. And your exclude group will always be your opt-outs or your unsubscribes as to this particular mailing, as well as it could be your board members or whatever the case might be. So you always have your include groups and your exclude groups. Groups make up a list, and you'll see as we go into the performance area, you'll see where this kind of comes together. So let's jump over to messages. In messages, you have the same thing you saw within list. Here are the messages I've created in the past. Okay, I've got a number of different messages that I've gone in. I can simply preview this message. This is an email message that I've created. Most all of our clients, when they come on board, they'll create a template or a couple of templates. Either build it in our system, or you can actually build your templates in outside systems such as Dreamweaver or Microsoft Word and copy and paste it right into our system. And then what a lot of our clients do is then they'll augment that template with content and pictures based upon what the appeal or message is creating. So in this case, this is just a quick little email I put together, having no technical background whatsoever. So I can either use this message, or maybe I can augment this message with some additional content, or drop in another template if I'd like. Again, you're seeing some of the same screens as you saw earlier. So a description. So what is this? It's the Helping Hands Monthly Appeal. We just took a preview of it. Are there any reference codes? Has this message ever been part of a package before? And if so, how successful was that particular package? And then, of course, a little activity log on this particular message. I can go into the, if I'd be interested in, I can go in and take a look at this message in the editor within 2Dialog. Or, as I mentioned, if interested, you can always go into the either into Dreamweaver, Microsoft Word, or some of these outside editors and copy and paste HTML directly into our system. So now what I've done is I've actually gone into that particular message. You'll see it's built within tables. And I have a number of different options here. So if I wanted to style this, like perhaps maybe styling this a little bit differently, I have the ability to style something very similar to a Microsoft Word document. Okay, so this is what we call the Wysiwyg Editor within the system. What you see is what you get. So in here I can simply type whatever I'd like to type in here. I can delete content. I can style text like I would style something in Word. I can change the background colors. I can insert boxes. I can cut, copy, and paste, find and replace, all throughout the system to enhance the email the way I'd like to. Okay? From a styling perspective to an objects or images, buttons, headers, and footers, I have the ability to change this on the fly. So, for example, if I wanted to insert a donation button, I can do that and assign that. I can insert a header. This pulls information from our library, and a library is kept at the client level, so you can store images and templates and headers and footers, boxes, graphs, as an example. And really from a point-and-click perspective, if I'm not crazy about that particular picture, I can easily drop in a picture out of my control center, or I can always add a picture off of my desktop. Okay, so from a ease of use perspective, it's a point-and-click, drag-and-drop kind of methodology, if you will. You'll see I've got some hyperlinks in here. Okay, right now these are links that really don't go anywhere. I call them placeholders. And really what this is it's the ability to create something that in the package will actually go through the process. So for example, I've got highlighted that, made it a single gift donation. Maybe I want to highlight tragedy and perhaps maybe send them to a one-page little landing page that talks about this particular campaign. They'd like to learn more about it. It's simply a matter of highlighting that piece of content, labeling that, and creates a placeholder, if you will, that you'll see when we tie these pieces together. And you can do that from a action perspective, from a donation or transaction perspective, so I can insert transaction links the same way, simply by highlighting a piece of content, going ahead and inserting the donation amount or the transaction amount and calling it, giving it a name. Okay, and I'm inserting donation links. I can insert a view as a web page, forward to a friend, an opt-out link, and of course tokens. So pulling from the database the list that's come over from Orange Leap or MPX, I can address that individual by first name, by last name, donor, constituent, whatever the case might be. Okay? And then if I am more an advanced user of this product, and or just I understand HTML and would rather code and really kind of make this my own, we give you complete access to the source code where you're able to go in and style this however you'd like. And as I mentioned before, ability to create this on the outside and bring it in, that then creates a white labeled product. So essentially this entire template is at your disposal. Do not necessarily need to have content or areas that you cannot change or augment as you go through. Okay? So I'm comfortable with my list. I've got my email message, and you can use this as an email distribution tool, similar to a MailChimp, for example, or a Constant Contact, and send it out. What we tried to do is insert within our email tool the ability to then take them, continue through the process, to actually make a donation or a transaction or a call to action, and keep it in the system rather than taking it outside to another web page. And we do this for analytic purposes. So if I look in the Actions tab, Action is a microsite or a landing page, and I've called it a number of different things. And so as an example, most people obviously use landing pages and microsites for email or for donations and forms. So if I take a look at, here's an example of a donation form that was created within the 2Dialog product. This is something that I created really with no technical background, and it's a donation form with some images, some content, that sort of thing. Another example of a landing page with a form is one that one of our clients has done, Home Sweet Home Ministries. It shows you the difference in creative ability between myself and somebody that really knows what they're doing. Here, got some content in. I've got a donation ask. By the way, the donation amount or the donation asks, we do have dynamic gift array within the product. So the gift array or the gift ask can be applicable to giving history. So for example, I might have a different gift array than Randy or Leo. You'll also see that there's quite a bit of information that's captured within one single form. So I've got gift array, I can make it a recurring donation, I can process the credit card information, I can designate where the gift should go, a memorial and tribute, and then stay in touch. All within one single form with one single submit button. Okay. Another example is the LA Mission. Again, content was created, put in here, images dropped in, dynamic gift array with a single submit button. Okay. Kind of shows off how bad my creative skills are. If I go back into the product itself, you will see that if I go back into that action itself, I have a number of different microsites that I can create. So not just a donation page. Maybe it's a, this is an example of a mission trip that a lot of our clients utilize. So in this case, it's a survey or an application process that then can take them through either a transaction created within that process or just information captured. Okay? So a number of things you can do within our landing pages and microsites. We give you a lot of flexibility. And if I go back into there, you see some of the same screens that you saw before, a description of it, are there reference codes, has this microsite ever been used in a package and sent out before, and then if so, how successful or not successful was that package, little activity log. There is a Wysiwyg editor within this particular template as well. So if I'm able to go in and look at that particular mission trip, if you will, or information on that, it's a Wysiwyg editor that I can either augment within the system, or I can actually go ahead and create templates on the outside and bring those in. And in here I can also insert transaction links, forward to a friend, those sorts of things. Styling this is exactly like I showed you within the email. So styling would be similar to styling a Word document. So if I go into the edit mode here, I can style, this is a landing page, I can style this at a paragraph level, at a text level. I can change the background, I can cut, copy, and paste, find and replace. Again, some of the things you're used to seeing within a Microsoft Word environment, you're seeing in here. And of course, we give you complete access to the HTML code behind it. You'll see that there's some additional functionality that you're able to do now that you're kind of on the web and not going through the email and the ISPs. I can drop in some widgets, maybe some videos, to really kind of get your message across in a number of different ways. I can change out images by pulling it, again, from my desktop, from the control center, or anywhere in between. Okay? So now I've got my landing page. We do not limit you on number of landing pages or microsite pages. You can have as many pages and as many microsites as you wish. And again, the idea is you're driving people down a path to take an action. Okay? And it can be part of the 2Dialog system through this partnership with Orange Leaf, or you can just utilize the product for email purposes only or for microsite purposes only. So we actually can provide the product in a number of different ways. I'm now into the package screen, and in this screen I'm now creating everything together. But rather than going into one of these, which we have already, we're actually going to go in and create a package. Go ahead, I called it 2011 instead of 2012. Go ahead, I can customize the from name as well as the reply email as well as the subject line for that email. Okay, and give it a description if I'd like. And what I'm doing is creating the base to this. So you'll see the description, the detail, the activity. This is just what I just created. And here's where we're going to pull it all together. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to choose a mailing list. This is the same mailing list that we saw in the beginning, if you remember. And I'm going to go ahead and select my Orange Leap list, the list that was created and segmented out of your Orange Leap or NPX system. I'm going to go ahead and create my message, or choose my message. This message, these are the same messages, email messages you saw earlier within the system. So really, if you've got this set up, you could almost go to this screen right away and create a campaign very, very quickly. And now I'm going to go ahead. I do want to have that message engage an individual to take an action from my organization, and I want to drive them then to a particular microsite. And in this case, I'm going to have them give. So what I've done is I've created my list, chose my list, I chose my message, and I chose my microsite. But if you remember, some of those placeholders, they don't go anywhere at this point. So that single gift donation, that's simply a placeholder. Okay? I have to assign it to a particular page within my microsite. So now when somebody clicks on that, they're going to go to a donation page. Okay? So what I've done is I've assigned my list to a message, my message to a microsite, and now taking those placeholders I put within my message to pages within my microsite. I've now completed what we call a package. I can actually change out microsites if I'd like to. So for example, this mission trip, that's not applicable. So I can quickly choose my mission trip microsite, which basically is one page. And it'll automatically change the pages that's in that particular microsite. And I'm going to have them fill out a survey. Okay? And once I've gone through this process of assigning my placeholders to pages within my microsite, that then creates what we call a package. Okay? We schedule the package. And again, scheduling this package could be scheduled in the future, on a Thursday at 2 a.m. Eastern Time, whatever the case might be. We can, and then that will then go out and you can then monitor the success of that particular package real time. I'll show you that in the performance screen. But you will go ahead and schedule this out either right now or in the future, and then your message goes out, your email goes out. Okay? Right prior to this presentation, I went ahead and sent out a test message to myself. Okay? And this is the email we saw earlier, right? Your gift can make a difference, helping hand, I want to learn more about the program. You know, I'm interested in making a gift. So now what I've done, I've gone from that email, I've now gone to a page within my microsite. I also can go to a PayPal page or you know, a Joomla or WordPress giving page, but we've tried to kind of keep it all in one system. So I'm going to go ahead and make a $60 donation. I'm going to insert my credit card information. It pulls all my historical information, such as my biographical information from the database. Okay. We are PCI compliant, level 1. We do not store credit card information, and we have 6 gateways integrated into the product, including Authorize.net, CyberSource, Chase Payment Tech, BeanStream, Paperless Transactions Corporation, and CyberSource. If I mentioned all 6, I think I got all 6. I'm going to go ahead and submit this transaction of $60. And as it submits, processes the credit card, you'll see that I just received 2 items. Number 1 is a credit card receipt, okay, that I can print off, use for my own records. And I also received a thank you email, which is completely customized. So in this case, I created a quick little snapshot, an image, attached a PDF, and of course it comes with a PDF attached of my donation receipt. Okay. One of the things to note here is I've not left the 2Dialog Billboard system and been able to show you an email component, also an import or an integration with a database, MPX Orange Leap, an email component, as well as a microsite landing page and a commerce component to it, creating this campaign that I can do very, very quickly and without having a technical background or technical expertise. Okay? So if I go back to Billboard, Kevin Hartland gave $60. Well, that's just great. So the final piece that we'd like to show you is the performance. So how successful was this particular mailing? So if I go into a package, and in this case we're going to go into the Helping Hands Monthly Ask. Here's when I can get into the analytics, and not to be confused with donor analytics and donor lifetime value. Really what I'm showing you is information at a campaign level. So think of this as the Helping Hands Ask. It's a finite campaign that I'm doing, or it could be done over the course of time or ongoing. But in this case, I'm reviewing all this information and reviewing it real time based on the campaign. So at a package level, I had sent out 20 emails, of which 14 were accepted, 5 bounced, 5 were forwarded. This little magnifying glass can tell me who these people are, their external ID, which would be your Orange Leap or MPX ID, their name and their email address. I can export this to a CSV file and contact them, do whatever needs to be done. I can also put them into a group. And if you remember, groups make up your list. So I can, in this case, maybe I want people that forwarded these emails, I want to put them in a group because my next campaign, which can be done both manually or I can show you actually done dynamically, I want to send them a follow-up email. So groups make up your list, and I can create these groups through this process. I can look at renders, render rates, render ratios, unique clicks, click-throughs, click-to-opens. Within that particular email, I had a number of links, placeholders that turned into links. Well, in this case, I'm interested in finding out who clicked on these links and how many people clicked on the links. So in this case, I know that 2 people clicked on forward to a friend. I can tell you who those 2 people are, and I can actually put them into a group. Okay? I can track both internal and external links. So these are links that are not only going to either pages within 2Dialog, but say you have a link in this message that takes them to another web page or a website, or as I mentioned before, a giving form. I can track who those people are and give you a snapshot of that. At a domain perspective, I can track, this 2Dialog system can track it at a domain level. So these are the domains within my email list. The rates, the render rates, the ratios, the clicks, the click-throughs, the click-to-opens, what you saw. But in this case, I have the ability to drill down on the unique renders, the 3 people that had unique, that rendered the pictures, or the 5 people accepted. So really at a granular level be able to track that. I can see who they are and put them into a group and give you a little graphical view of that. From a failure perspective, hard bounces and soft bounces, okay, and give you details on that. And then the last 2 key areas, which I think are critical to any campaign, is the transaction capability, and then how did it compare to other campaigns that I've done. So in this case, $430 was captured so far on my Helping Hands monthly ask. 6 people gave, 6 were successful. I can tell you who those 6 people are, or put them into a group if I'd like. Had an average size of $71. I can tell you, the system will tell you where they came from. So 5 people came from the action page. 1 person came from a button that was a 1 times 40, and their average size according to that. Also by state. So I can tell you that 1 person gave from the state of Texas, while 2 gave from Florida, the total amount and the average size, and then we drill it down by the amount breakdown. So 2 people gave $20, it's 40. Who are those 2 people? And then I can put them into a group if I'd like, and give you a little bit of a graphical view down here as well. Okay, and then finally a new feature that came in about 6-8 months ago. And by the way, 60 to 70% of our development does come from partners and clients. So we do take what you say and actually build it into the product in a short period of time. The ability to compare packages. So side by side in a graphical format, I want to take a look at how the monthly ask for this year compared maybe to the monthly ask of last year. And I can do that by selecting my metrics and adding or removing whatever metrics I'd like. Okay? And then also choosing my packages. And I can do one against the other, or in this case I've got 3 up against each other. And go ahead and refresh this, and I can take a look and quickly see how one campaign did over the other, and then make decisions on that. Okay? One other key piece that I did mention earlier, the ability to do welcome series. We have that capability. We also have the capability of drip campaigns. So setting up these campaigns, and through a rules engine behind, based on what people have done within the system, opened up the email, made a gift, forwarded to a friend, they can then, the groups are always rebuilt, and then the message with the relevant content or information that you've created now can go out to that individual, so you can then drive them down a path. And then another new feature I couldn't show you in here because we haven't loaded it in, but I can also show you what that email that you've created looks like in upwards of 42 different editors. So what does your email look like in Microsoft Word or Outlook or Gmail or Hotmail, whatever the case might be. Okay. I'm going to open it up for questions at this point. So if anybody has any questions, see we've got a handful that are already posted within our piece, so we'll go ahead and tackle them as we see them. The first question comes to us. It asks, does MPX works in a batch system? Does the integration create a batch or update individual donor accounts? And the information, and I've got Leo with me, it's actually in a batch format at this point. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I'm going to have Leo address this one here. Please talk about how contact information, name, address, phone, email, stays in sync between MPX and 2Dialog.
So the way that it works is that each system, 2Dialog as well as MPX, has a unique ID for each of the constituents or contacts within the system. Both systems know about each other's IDs. So, for example, if a constituent record is sent to 2Dialogs from MPX without the 2Dialogs ID attached to it, 2Dialogs will know that it's a new constituent. If the information is sent to 2Dialogs with the 2Dialogs constituent ID, then 2Dialogs then knows that it's an update. And the same works in the opposite direction. It's really, quite simple. If you think about it, if they send me an ID of a constituent that exists within MPX, then I'm going to update it. If they send me an ID that doesn't exist, then I'm going to create it. And that's pretty much how it works in a nutshell across the board.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. I mentioned earlier this talks with other systems. Will data contact lists automatically be updated from MPX or Orange Leap, or do those need to be manually updated with each address email change submitted by donors?
Those are automatically updated, as I described in the earlier question, by the external IDs.
Okay. Next question: can hard copy letters be created out of this system for those donors who do not have access to email? Unfortunately, that is not the case.
No. And typically how an MPX customer would do that is they would create a segmentation for anybody that they wanted to create a hard copy mailing for example, anybody that does not have an email address but has a specific designation, code, etc. And then they would use Word to do a mail merge, and then they would print and stuff the envelopes. That's traditionally how MPX customers send out hard copy letters.
Okay. This is another one, I think, for Leo here. We currently use iContact to send receipts to donors, some giving us up to 10 missionaries per gift. Is there merge functionality in the receiving process for gifts entered into MPX?
The answer to that would be yes. There is obviously, as I mentioned in the earlier question, there's a mail merge component involved in that. The automatic receipting for MPX would not provide that functionality out of the box.
Okay. Yeah, and I've got 3 more questions here that just came in, and I think I can handle these 3, Leo. Thank you. Sure. How much of the following Convio functionality can 2Dialog replace? Online donations, e-commerce, advocacy, etc. Full website. We do run into Convio quite a bit, obviously, and we have replaced Convio on a number of different occasions, primarily due to functionality as well as price points. Essentially, from what I can gather, in this case, we are a nice replacement fit for Convio for core functionality. What I mean by that is, full websites. We support WordPress and actually do build out in WordPress a multitude of sites with then integration into Billboard and then thus back into Orange Leap or MPX. We will have an advocacy module that'll be built utilizing the Billboard e-alert system. That will be done projected at the end of Q1 2012. And at that point, full Congress at the federal level, state, and local level, utilizing the campaign analytics CapWiz database, which will be integrated into our system. And then, of course, you saw from an email perspective and an online donation and transaction capability. The only thing that we don't have at this point is the friend-to-friend or peer-to-peer fundraising module in its entirety, although within the 2Dialog donation pages, there's a number of different things, and landing pages, there's a number of different ways you're able to still replicate that if need be. Are 2Dialog cost competitive with MailChimp? We are competitive with MailChimp, especially if you're above the 5,000 to 10,000 emails a month. Then in some cases we're actually a little bit less. As it compares to a email to email, again, MailChimp is an e-blast tool, which our product can be utilized for that as well and priced accordingly. But there is other features in there, and if a nonprofit is interested in some of the other key features like landing pages and donation forms, we will be a slightly higher because of that. And you just need to look at the cost and efficiencies, hopefully cost savings and efficiencies we create in that process as well. And then the last question I've got here, can I have multiple users on one or in one 2Dialog account? And the answer is yes. We do not limit you in admin users. Most of our clients have 5 to maybe 10 at the most. We'll provide you what you need and provide that out to you in a simplistic way. And then you can monitor the usage and the use of those admin rights based on how you set it up in the beginning. And then one question actually just came in here, price, with an exclamation point. We do price the product based on usage, so not so dissimilar to probably what you've seen in the past. It's based on number of emails that you send out on a monthly basis. We look at the trends, and then accordingly we'll work with you on what that usage amount should be, what that bucket should be. So think of a cell phone plan where you pick the bucket. We do not charge for overage, and we do not charge for penalties or anything else like that. We try to pick the amount and then work with you to make sure that your campaigns are successful, and then as you become successful, we become successful as well. If there are no other questions, I want to thank everybody for attending. I want to thank Randy, and I want to thank Leo and Taylor for facilitating this presentation for us. And also want to invite any and all of you to take a look at the product, maybe a little bit more detail. We will and can provide one-on-one demonstrations of the product, conversations, tailored presentations and demos that fit your needs. And obviously we're working with all of Orange Leap and MPX clients with some pricing advantages and those sorts of things. So we look forward to talking to you soon, and look forward also to seeing more information on the partnership released as we get into 2012. Have a great afternoon, everybody, and hope to talk to you soon. Thank you.